Hey guys, going live just a little bit late, a couple minutes. I like to build that anticipation anyway, right? Let me turn the light on over here as well. Might help, might not. And as usual, just let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me, you know the drill. And I will go ahead and check here and see if I can see myself. Which I can't yet. Let's see. There we go. Sweet. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a couple minutes here, and then we'll jump in. Hello, everyone. Hey, Alex. I can always count on you to jump in these things. This isn't going to be a very long one. I'm not going to take up too much of your guys' time, but figure this is a good subject to dive into. And, you know, I just want to keep giving you guys good content. And, yeah, I also want to tell you guys what's going on. I got something coming up for January that's going to be very cool for some of you that really want to take your stuff to the next level. So stay tuned for that if you want. And let's just see you guys all jump in and what have you. It's a Wednesday, you know. I don't expect a whole lot of people to jump in here live. So if you're watching the replay, hello. I hope you're doing well. And let's dive into this real quick, all right? And if you guys have any questions during this, I'll try to get to them. I'll just kind of try to keep track here with the comments and everything. Let me turn my thing off. So all good on my end, says Michael Carter. All right, welcome, man. So first off, this kind of live stream here is going to be about my experience with approaching record labels. This is going to be more specific to signing to digital labels. This isn't the same sort of thing as being in a rock band or something and getting signed to a major record label deal or anything like that. This is about, for the most part, digital labels. Could also be a vinyl label as well. And this is kind of about just how you approach labels to work your way to get your songs signed to the right labels and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of wrong ways to do this. And if you do it wrong, you can really set a bad reputation for yourself later on. So, and sometimes you can't repair that sort of, you can't repair that relationship once you've kind of done some of the wrong things. So I want to help you just avoid some of that. So yeah. Nick, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So here is some of my advice on approaching labels. Number one, I think the best approach is to find these guys on social media. Find the label on social media. I think Facebook's probably the best place to do this, but you can also do this on Twitter and other places. Wherever they are, you know, on Instagram or what have you, wherever they are is where you kind of want to be. So the first thing about approaching a label, first and foremost, is you have to know enough about the label to know that they actually are fit for your sound, or you're fit for their sound, rather. They're not doing you a favor in the beginning. You're kind of doing them a favor. Wrong. Reverse that. They're doing you a favor. You're not doing them a favor. All right. And so with this, the very first step is, one, don't waste their time, you know, by trying to sign your trance music to a tech house label or something like that, right? Like, do your research and figure out ahead of time what labels are actually in your playing field, right? You want your music to be pretty closely aligned to that label. And if you don't do your research, you're going to turn them off right away. Even if later on you do music that fits their label, that's a huge newbie mistake, is just to kind of approach all kinds of labels and just see if any of them stick. So that would be my second tip would be approach one label at a time. Don't do this thing where you research, you find like 30 or 40 labels and you blast them all with the same sort of emails or messages and that sort of thing. That's a bad move. I mean, you can have a number of labels in mind, but you should really kind of move towards, have it like your top 3 and kind of move towards working with them and building relationships with them. Looks like I locked up, whatever. I should come back around. Anyway, the first thing that you want to do is you want to help the label by sharing their current releases, getting involved in their conversations, connecting with other artists from the label, and just being a big supporter of the label itself. Just be in there, be in those conversations, have them recognize your name. That's going to be huge. You don't want to tell these people at all. You don't want to introduce yourself as someone who's a producer. What you want to do is just be a person in the community that supports labels that you like. So you have to genuinely be into the label. If you're constantly just looking to get something out of this, it's not going to be genuine and it's going to be harder to build that relationship. So find a label that you actually respect, that you like their sound, and that you connect with. All right? That's the first thing that you want to do. And once again, don't tell them that you are a music producer. The last thing a record label wants to hear when they first meet you is that you're a music producer, because then they know right away that they want to kind of block their attention from you, right? Because they're getting bombarded by, tons of different people. Be helpful first, build a relationship first. All right. And I would say, see, this is the slower path, but it's the right path, is I would give, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks of just communicating and getting in their conversations, maybe hitting up once you've kind of built a relationship in the comment section, then maybe you can kind of hit the owner of the label up privately, letting them know what you thought about certain tracks that they've released, give support. Do not, and I'm repeating this, do not give them your critiques. You haven't earned the right to critique what they're doing. So if you can't say something good about the releases or the songs, then don't bother. All right. You're there to support only in this part, this stage of building your relationship. All right. So once you have built that relationship to somewhat of a comfortable conversational sort of vibe with people on the label and the person that runs the label, then might be a good time to let the label know, let the person know, hey, by the way, I just wanted to let you know that, I'm a music producer. I love your label. And what I would highly recommend, don't dump a bunch of songs on the label and just see what sticks. Go through the due diligence of finding, your 2, maybe 3 songs that most fit the label. And then the way that I would present it, because it shows a lot more respect, is to tell them, hey, I produce a lot of music, and look, some of it's probably not right for your label, but I've handpicked these 2 or 3 songs that I really think would fit with what your label is doing. I would love to hear your opinion on this. Feel free to get back to me. How can I best get these songs to you? And then they'll tell you whether they want you to send a SoundCloud link or send the track through MP3 or whatever, right? That's the best way to approach it. And they know right up front that you've taken the time. They know that you're a supporter, and you're also now an acquaintance and maybe even a friend of the label. So you're going to get a much better reaction. They got a much better chance of giving you the respect of listening to your music. Now, another thing that I recommend as well is understanding that when you are moving to sign with a certain label, you're basically partnering up with their sound, right? So this isn't necessarily all about you doing you. For example, I may have some finished songs that I think would be great for the label, but maybe a certain label I want to sign to, they use more organic sounds. So maybe what I might want to do is go back in and tweak my song using some more organic sounds in my tune so that it fits better with the label. So getting signed is kind of a marriage between what the label's doing and your own unique abilities. So you're basically bringing a balance to the table of your unique twist to their sound, to the sound that they release on the label. And I think that's where you're going to get more support and really have labels much more interested in working with you because they know that you're working towards what they're doing. So you want to always kind of have that in the back of your head that it's okay for you to tweak your songs a little bit to move them a little bit closer towards the label that you want to sign to. All right. Now, if they say no to the songs that you introduce, that's totally okay. Don't sweat it. Just because they said no one time doesn't mean they're going to always say no. Continue to support them, continue to build the relationship. You may even want to ask them if there is anything with the song that they would recommend to you, that you could do to improve your song. And also if they have any recommendations of other labels that might be a better fit, if they don't think this is a good fit. I think all of that is something that's really easy to do when you've built that relationship with a label or a couple labels, right? And this is also why, after, if they say no, you have a couple other options and you've been building relationships with other labels as well. So it's not that difficult, but I would approach them one at a time, introducing yourself as a music producer. And what happens is once you sign to one label, you kind of get introduced to other labels that the artists of that label are affiliated with, because many of the artists on one label have signed to several other labels. So you start getting on other people's radars and other labels kind of get on your own radar. But at the end of the day, remember, you want to be genuine. You want to genuinely like the label. You want to genuinely like the people that are running the label. Don't be some fake ass person who's just trying to get something out of other people. It just doesn't work that way. You have to give first and build the relationships. Everything in this market, everything in this space is all about people, and everything that you want is going to come through people. And these guys that run labels are not like so special. A lot of these guys are just like you. They just happen to run a label, and they probably don't make a whole lot of money running the label. Most digital labels don't make a whole lot of money. So, most of the labels that I've signed to, there's been I've signed no contracts or anything. It's just kind of a handshake deal. And a lot of labels I've signed to, I haven't gotten any money in return. But your songs and the labels that you sign to become kind of a calling card for either getting to better labels that will pay you, getting remixing jobs, and of course, getting DJ gigs. All of that kind of comes from people taking a look at what you are doing musically. So if you're not doing this and you're a DJ, you should really consider jumping into music production. So with that, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to check out here and see. So far, everyone's just saying, hey, Justin, good to see you. If you're still around, looks like there's a few of you in here checking it out. So let me know if you have any questions. I don't know how much latency is on this. So, it might be like a 10, 15, 20-second latency. So I'll just wait for a little bit for you to drop me any questions that you want. Let me know if this is also helpful for you. For a lot of people, this is really a revelation. I've known so many people that just bombard like 50 different labels and hope that they can sign to one. And usually if someone says yes, it's usually not really that great of a connection anyway. And the relationship's not really built well. So here's the thing, you don't really want to sign to a label that is so enthusiastic about signing you and they don't even know you hardly at all, right? Because most good labels are trying to build relationships with artists. If a label is just trying to sign anyone that comes through for the most part, that's probably not a very strong statement for that label, all right? So just something to keep in mind. So with that said, I want to let you guys know, first off, how many of you guys are having issues like finishing tracks? How many people feel either they don't have the right equipment, or they don't have enough knowledge, or they don't have enough sound design skills, or they don't have enough music theory skills? You don't understand how the effects work properly. You have trouble mixing. You think you need to master your own stuff, and you're always worried about the loudness of your songs. Any of you here that have any of those sort of issues, or you're just stuck in the 8-bar loop sort of thing, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop a link in the comment section below. So whether you're watching live or whether you're coming later, I am launching, again, I haven't launched this in about 6 months, but my biggest, most transformative master course, which is called the Create an EP in 30 Days Master Course. And this is where a group of up to 100 students all work together and work directly with me in a 19-step project, 19-day daily lessons that walk you through this whole process. And it's a process that took me a year to figure out, and then another year to create a course around it, because I wanted to help everyone do this for themselves. And I've helped people who'd never even touched Ableton to be finishing songs. It takes a little longer for them than 30 days most of the time, but within 45 to 60 days, they're finishing songs as well. And it's a repeatable process. So once you learn this, you can do this for the rest of your life and start really getting songs out pretty quickly. And really, that's one of the secrets to not getting sick of your own music and keeping your song sounding fresh, is to be able to work quick. And my goal is that you're able to finish on average about a song per week once you really get this moving. So if music is something that you're passionate about, I highly recommend that you at least look at this. So basically, you could sign up to my email list. Whether you join or not, I'm going to give you like 2 weeks of really good training and some really good tools, things that you can really take with you, whether you choose to join the course or not. If you do join the course, then you're kind of working one-on-one with me. Every student is working one-on-one with me, because you've got your training video, you have a workbook, and you have your daily homework. And then there's also an extra video called Avoiding Pitfalls that I've put on top of all the detailed training to make sure that every single step of the way you understand. You can do this completely on your own time. You don't have to do it every day, but I recommend that you try as hard as you can to make this a daily process. Even if a certain lesson takes you 2 or 3 days, working on something daily keeps you from forgetting the lesson that you just learned and that sort of thing. So with that, let me, I'm going to drop this in. I don't know if I can comment from here. Maybe I can. No, it looks like I can just read the comments here. So I'll have to, let's take a look here. Let me get my lead page on. Here we go. Here's the opt-in for this. We kick it off January 2nd. I want to give you New Year's Day to kind of recover from New Year's Eve. And then we get into this so that by February 1st, you could literally have not just one song, but an EP ready. And an EP could be 2 to 3 songs. And usually then you could bring someone in for a remix or what have you. So, yeah, I'm going to get to your comments as well. I see comments coming in and I appreciate them. So give me just a second to first drop this in the comments here. Right. Hang tight just a second. And if you have any questions about the training, it's really powerful stuff. In fact, I'll also share a link to my testimonials. I've got probably 150 now. I don't know if I put them all up, but yeah, I have a ridiculous amount of transformative stories from so many of my students. Even students that have paid like $3,000 to $5,000 on DubSpot or Point Blank, and they got loads of tips, but they weren't finishing songs. This is specific to finishing songs. That's the goal more than any other thing. If you just want tons of crazy different techniques, this might not be the course for you. But if you actually want to finish songs and streamline your creativity and your own originality and your own original sound, this is really where it's at. For all the students that I've brought in, it's been really transformational. So I'm going to find myself here on Facebook. And I'm going to drop this link here for you guys in the comments. Learn more about the Create an EP in 30 Days Master course. And the email sequence not only is going to give you a lot of stuff that you can take whether you join or not, but it will give you loads of information all about the way that this training works and why it's so different from all the other training that's out there. There's so much technical training. There's very little mindset training. I try to combine the two in a way that gives you exactly what you need each step of the way, and every step in the process leads you to the next part of the process. This personally took me from maybe finishing 3 to 4 songs a year, not signing the tracks, not being 100% happy with the tracks, to with this process, I finished 52 songs in 13 months. And I'm pretty sure by now that every single track that was not a bootleg was signed to a label within the next couple years. So you could actually go to my Spotify, look up Jason Timothy or Apple Music or whatever, and you can see all my track list of all the released songs. You can find my stuff on Beatport. I've had 3 #1 EPs, and all of those EPs came from this 1-year session, I believe. At least I think all the #1s that I had. I had a #2 that I think I made after. But anyway, so yeah, the fact that I wrote a lot of songs doesn't give up the quality. In fact, my quality got better through this process. So here is the link if you guys are interested. Once again, it's totally free to sign up to learn more about it. And there's a lot of free mindset training and some extra tools that I think you guys will find really cool. And look, I'm just not going to waste your time at all. If this seems like a fit for you, I would love to have you on board. We're going to kick off in January. Now, let me go into any of the comments here. So feel free to ask questions regarding labels, getting signed to labels, or anything that you want regarding the master course. I'm happy to answer. So let's see what we've got here. David said, sound design and composition, creating space, and call and respond stuff. Need so much help. David, this is right up your alley for that sort of thing. Really, here's the thing. You don't need great sound design skills. I don't have amazing sound design skills. You don't need great music theory skills. And you don't need a bunch of equipment. You can really make great releases using just the stock effects in Ableton alone. If you understand how to use them, you can get a ton out of them. And you don't really need to go outside. Not that there's any problem. If you find something that works really well for you that you already know, then absolutely use it. I certainly use third-party effects and some third-party synths, but I definitely have tons and tons of go-to stuff that is just stock in Ableton, and it works really, really well for me. I think this would really help you. I encourage you to look into this. Just sign up for free and see if it vibes with you. All right. Let's see here. This course you're talking about, that sounds amazing. Keeping my eyes peeled for that link. Awesome. Michael Carter. I've taken the EP in 30 Days course, worth every penny. Thank you for what you teach in the course, Jason. Help me get to where I am now in pushing out consistent and complete tracks. Michael, thank you so much for that. I hope you don't mind. Would you mind if I screenshot that? I would love to add it to some of my testimonials. That really means a lot. Every testimonial I get, and every transformation, it's not about testimonials necessarily, it's about transformations that I'm making, and I'm really passionate about this. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've worked with a lot of people, and it really, I know what it's like to be stuck. I know what it's like to not really know the next step, and I know what it's like to have my music in me and just want to get it out so badly. Many of us, we don't make music to get famous and make loads of money. We make music because it's that part of ourselves that we're able to express and that we need to express. And music is the way that we find ourselves able to express it best sometimes. And to not be able to do that just doesn't even seem like a choice to some of us. So, I just want to be a guide for people to really release that music that's inside them. I think every person who even has an interest in music probably has a great EP or album in them. So, that's my personal belief. The ideas are there for you. You just need to get them out. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate you allowing me to screenshot that. I'll definitely do that. Check out the link. James, good to see you here. Carl, awesome to see you here. Terrace, thanks for joining. Israel, thank you for joining. David, of course, appreciate all your comments. Richard says, just anxiety of finishing a song is your issue. That is very, very common because what happens is we're basically just afraid to suck. And anything that you start, you have to embrace the idea that you're going to suck. You have to embrace that. You have to almost enjoy it. You almost have to be able to laugh about it. You've got to dive in and say, let's really suck. Let's fail big time really fast so that we can get to the next level more quickly. That's just the way it works, Just like an infant doesn't just start off walking and give up because he or she can't walk. You got to go through the crawling. And with anything that you're going to do, especially music, especially quality music, you have to, your taste is always going to be so much more ahead of your skills. Even when you get to the point where you feel really competent in what you're doing, you're going to notice more details than other artists that are going to just melt your mind because you're just like, God, I got so much further to go. It's always going to be that. You're always going to be exploring new territory. And I think that's what's so great about creativity, So I hope that you get something out of that. Nick, once again, great to see you. Not sure if you're still around. Alex, you were the first one on. Really appreciate you, man. I hope you're enjoying all the content that you're getting. I've been getting your emails. Really appreciating that. If you're interested in taking things to the next level, Alex, and you haven't already done that, you might want to just join the email list, the post that I just made with the link to join the email list. I think this is a different email list that will give you other tips as well. So if you're interested in that. With that, guys, I really appreciate your time, as always, and I'm going to try to come back and really dive into new topics almost every day, as much as I can, just trying to be authentic. I'm not always going to be able to make it every day, but I'm going to try. I've got subjects that I want to talk about. And if you guys have any subjects that you would like me to talk about, feel free to drop a post here in the group, and I will definitely consider adding that to the list of what I discuss. You know, I'm here to help you guys. Also, lastly, we are almost at 26,000 followers on this page, which is enormous. It's so cool. And I just want this page to rocket. I really want to get you guys conversing. I want to get a lot more active in this group. So if you can, if you are willing to, if you've got friends that could benefit from this, tag them in the group. Bring them on board. I would love to have them. It's a free group. So, you know, everyone's invited. With that said, guys, I'm going to hit it. And I really hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll talk to you guys really soon. Take care.